Hi you guys, so today I kind of wanted to do something a little bit different. Typically I don't do a ton of tag videos, but I was thinking what should I film today? What's something I've never filmed before that's just a little bit different? And I thought, wait a minute, a couple of years ago there was a huge tag going around called doing my makeup with my opposite hand or the opposite hand challenge. Now I cannot remember who started it, and so many people have done it that it would probably be impossible for me to actually find out who actually started it. But today I kind of wanted to attempt it, which is why I don't even have my eyebrows done yet. I am slightly ambidextrous to the point where I can write with my left hand a little bit. Like if I suddenly broke my wrist, I'd be able to write well enough with my left hand for it to be passable. And I tend to play sports with my left hand. Like if I'm doing batting, throwing, things like that, I tend to be more left-handed than right-handed. Or at least I used to be when I did things like sports more often. For art, makeup, anything like that, it's all my right hand. And I've never actually tried doing my makeup with my left hand. Like I'm trying to figure out how this is even going to work, like trying to blend shadow and stuff with my left hand. I have no idea. This could be fun. This could be a disaster. We don't know. Normally, I would apply something like primer with both of my hands, so I am going to go ahead and do that, but everything else is going to be with brushes and with my left hand. For primer today, I'm using the Too Faced Hangover RX primer. I do like this primer. It's pretty good. I'm just kind of trying to use up the sample I have here, though. I'm kind of going through a thing where too much stuff and too much clutter is driving me crazy. So I'm kind of trying to use up products as much as I can because I don't like throwing out products unless they're really, really, really old or empty. So I'm kind of trying to use things up and use a lot of the samples I got and things like that. All right, normally I would do my eyeshadow first, but I'm actually doing a pretty simple eyeshadow look today. So I am going to go ahead and do my foundation. I'm using the NYX Can't Stop, Won't Stop foundation. The shade I am in this is 07 Natural, and I'm just using the Real Techniques Complexion Blender Brush. This already feels really, really weird. Okay, have you guys ever like tried sleeping on like the opposite side of the bed from what you normally do? Like this is what that feels like. Like I have no coordination. I like don't even know how to hold a brush. Okay, this is way harder than I thought it would be actually because I have no coordination. I'm just adding a little bit more foundation down here where I have these acne scars to cover up and just a little bit of redness in my cheeks. I usually don't get redness around my cheeks at all, but right now I am way over caffeinated and way dehydrated. So my whole body is like not happy right now. That took way longer than normal to get my foundation on. So for concealer today, I'm using the Maybelline Master Conceal. And this is in the shade 20 Light. So I'm just going to put this on my left ring finger to dot it in place and blend it out. Okay, this isn't going so bad, except that the muscles in my arm are like aching because they're not used to this motion at all. That's actually pretty well blended out right now. So to set my under eyes, I'm using the NYX HD Finishing Powder and Banana. This is one of my favorites. I am just trying to use it up. Now this can make your skin look a little bit dry, so I tend to keep this just on the inner portion of my eye. How do brushes work? And then I just like taking this down on my cheeks just a little bit. I'm going to take a break on the face and move on to my eyes and my eyebrows because not having eyebrows drives me crazy. I'm using my Anastasia Dip Brow in the shade Taupe, which is my go-to brow product. Though I really, really, really want to try the new Urban Decay eyebrow markers. Like, those look amazing. Either doing my brows or doing my eyeshadow is probably going to be the most messy part of this whole thing because both things take so much detail and my hand doesn't like know what to do. Yeah. Uh, that's not. Hold on. Okay, let's try this again. Less product. Start more in the middle. Okay, that's not too bad. Like, it's not the greatest eyebrow I've ever done, but it's actually in the general eyebrow area, so that's a bonus. All right, so right now I'm just kind of trying to feather in the front of the brow like I normally do, and it's not going great. Let's try this. Ooh, okay, that's a good tail. And now I just messed it up. So, while I'm working on this, fun fact, when I was little, I used to watch documentaries and reality TV all the time. Now, this was way before reality TV became like a huge thing, but you still had like documentaries on like nighttime TV about, people who had all kinds of disabilities, things like that, got through them. And I saw a documentary about a girl who, I can't remember if she lost her arms in a car accident or if she was born without them. I can't remember. I wish I could. Okay, my eyebrows do not match. Look at that. It's like way darker. But I remember just being like, wow, what would happen if you were in a car accident and you lost your arms or something like that happened? How would you function? And she had a regular, how do I have more skill with a brush like this? Why is my hand like, I don't know. But I was like, how would you function? And since I was probably only like maybe 10 or 11 when I saw this, I decided, you know what? You never know what can happen. Stuff happens. I'm going to be prepared. So I taught myself how to do all kinds of things with my feet, including write my name, because like signing your name on documents is important. So I taught myself how to write my name with my feet. I don't know if I can still do that. I haven't tried in like years. I'm going in with clear brow gel now, but clearly, apparently, I need to practice doing my makeup more with my left hand, just in case. You never know, stuff happens, because this is taking forever. You guys, it has taken me almost 20 minutes in real time to do my foundation, my concealer, powder, and eyebrows. That's insane. Normally, I can do a full face in less than 40 minutes easily, like from base to done. Anyway, eyebrows are done. They're as good as they're gonna get. This one's a little Groucho and this one's a little patchy, but we're gonna let Groucho and patchy just ride where they're at for now. All right, I need some eyeshadow primer and I'm using the Smashbox 24-Hour Photo Finish Shadow Primer. And thankfully I only need a teensy bit of this. All right, now we are going to the scary part. We are going into the eyeshadow, and today I am using my James Charles palette. One, because this palette is amazing and I love it very, very much. And two, because I'm kind of doing more of a neutral look today, just so my hand does not fall off of my body. And the neutrals in here are gorgeous. Alright, so I'm just going to point to which shadow I'm using. I'm not going to name them because honestly, like, I want to get a tiny little, like, white marker and mark the names on the palette because I hate the little flappy cellophane thing. But first I'm going to be going in with this shade right here. It is absolutely gorgeous. I love it. It's kind of like a peanut buttery shade. I'm kind of afraid, you guys. My hand doesn't know how to work. Wow. Um, okay, to be honest, I probably could do a better job with my toes. So blending a lot, I don't think is going to be an option because just getting the shadow onto my eye in general is a wee bit of a challenge. All right, let's do the other eye. So, have any of you guys seen the PBS show Victoria? Now, I don't have regular cable. I tend to watch everything on Netflix, Amazon, Hulu, etc. But my mom managed to actually had a copy of the first season, and I love history. I love historical fiction. I love realistic history. When I was going to college, I was actually planning on being a history teacher because I love it so, so much. And then I realized that our education system is a disaster. So I decided to not go into teaching. But Victoria is incredible. I just finished watching the first season. It's so, so, so good. And I already put the second season on hold at the library because I'm cheap and I don't want to pay for a PBS subscription when that's the only thing I want to watch. But season one was so freaking good. Jenna Coleman, I believe that's her name, Jenna Coleman. She was on Doctor Who as Queen Victoria, is just freaking incredible. So next I'm going into this shade. It's right next to the one we just used. And I am taking a fluffy blending brush. And I am actually going to try and get this into my crease without making a huge mess. I probably look like a 12-year-old trying to do their makeup for the first time. No, correction, like a 5-year-old because I've seen some talented 12-year-olds on here. And the brushes don't even feel the same. That's what's weird is you're used to how brushes blend and how they feel in one hand. And then you try and put them in another hand and it's like, what is this thing I'm holding? Putting a makeup brush in your non-dominant hand is kind of like if you've never eaten with chopsticks before, trying to eat with chopsticks. Now, I can use chopsticks oftentimes better than I can use a knife and a fork. I'm really, really proficient with using chopsticks just because I've used them since I was probably about 6 years old. They're just like second nature to me, but I do remember trying to use them for the first time and it's like the weirdest thing in the world. And that's what this feels like. Like this blend is not even like it's higher on this eye, lower on this side, it's all over the place. I am going to grab a teensy tiny little brush and the pale yellow out of this palette. It's this one right here. I'm pointing with my right hand just because my palette is on the left side of my table and it's difficult to move stuff around. But I'm going to take that and just use that right on those edges. Okay, the smaller brush is a bit easier to control. Just using that yellow to make an absolute mess. Okay, I'm attempting to blend out. I'm going to grab a small detailer brush real quick and I'm going into the shade Ring Light just because I know that one by heart. It's just the super, super bright highlight shade. This highlight is beautiful. And I'm just using this under my brow bone. Normally I wouldn't use this much highlight shade, but because the rest of my eye makeup kind of accidentally went too high, I want to really kind of mark out where my brow is a bit better. It's not looking terrible. It's not looking great, but it could look worse. Right, next I think I'm going to take that small brush again. I think I'm just going to keep moving along this neutrals line and go in with this super dark brown right here. And I'm just going to put this right in that outer corner. So me being all like, oh yeah, I'm just going to do a super simple neutral look. I'm like, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 eyeshadows in now? Every time, every single time I aim to do something simple, it ends up being way more complicated than it really should be. Nah, can't make hands do what brain is telling hands to do. Like, my brain is telling my hand make small circles. My hand is like squares, triangles, polygons of different sizes, and yeah, just no, my hand will not cooperate. All right. Okay. That's coming together. And I think I want one, maybe two more shades on my lid. Let me see. Oh, next I'm going to go into this shade right here. This beautiful copper. And I'm just going to put that right on my ring finger. Look how pretty that is. And I'm going to tap this right in the middle of my lid. I swear this is probably one of the most versatile palettes I've ever used. I actually ran into a girl at Ulta the other day and she was looking at it. And normally I will not randomly talk to people. I am not the kind of person who does that. But she was discussing the palette with her boyfriend and listing off some concerns and stuff. And I was like, listen, if you really like doing makeup, you are going to want this palette. It's so good. And I explained to her how to use the pigment shades. And she was like, do you have to use like the exact primer he says to use? And I'm like, you can use any primer with this palette. Any primer works really, really beautifully. It's more in the application, especially with the pigments. With the pigments, you want to go in and dab the color on rather than trying to use them as like blending shades. But anyway, next I'm going into this shade. It's kind of like a light gold champagne-y. And I'm just going in with my pinky on this one. I'm just going to pop this right on that inner third and blend that together. Oh, I'm sorry about this weird patch on my hand. The past 2 winters, I started developing eczema on my hands when it gets really cold out. And I've tried like everything and nothing works. So it's just kind of something I have to deal with. Sometimes it's worse, sometimes it's better. But right now, it's just being a butt. And that's what the eyes look like so far. Now I'm going to clean the makeup off of my fingers real quick. And I'm going to grab that small detail brush and go back in with ring light. In case you lost your little acetate name thingy, this one's ring light. So pretty. And just pop that on my inner corner. I'm using my right hand. No, no. It's hard, you guys, to remember to use your left. That's part of what makes this hard. It's like, it's nature to use your dominant hand. All right, there we go. I'm going to move this palette to this side so that I'm picking it up with this hand and sticking with my left. I'm going to take the same small detailer brush, clean it off, and go back in with that pale gold we were using. There we go, more control. Take that right under the inner part of my lower lash line. Normally when I do a tutorial, I only show doing one side, but since this is more of a challenge, this video is probably going to be a bit longer and I want to show you both sides. Taking that same brush, I'm going to go into the metallic copper and put that right underneath my iris. Normally, I don't use this brush for underneath my eyes. Normally, I use a larger brush, but since I have less control, using a smaller brush actually gives me more control. So again, same brush. I'm going to go into this shade right here, and that is going to be on the outside of my eye. I actually think it's pretty good. It's very kind of like fall leaves, dark goldy coppery right now, so I actually really love it. It's really, really pretty. It's not necessarily kind of a February look, but I think it's really pretty. However, here's where it could all go wrong. Curling my eyelashes, mascara, and liner. Yes, I am attempting liquid liner. No, I do not think this is a good idea. And no, I'm not using one of my typical eyeliners. I'm actually using my NYX Epic Ink Liner because this one is a brush tip and it has a lot of product in it. So I'm going to go ahead and curl my lashes, or at least attempt to. Oh, ow, pinch, not good. I always try and curl my lashes before I do my liner now, just to prevent half my liner coming off. Okay, so if something ever happens to my right hand, I am getting lash extensions because this is not easy. All right, so I'm going in with the Epic Ink Liner. I'm slightly terrified. Just a super thin line. I am resting my elbow on my right fist because my table's too low. So I hopefully do not screw up this entire look. Q-tip. I'm using my right hand for the Q-tip because I would rather not lose an eyeball, thank you. And we're going to put this away because I'm just too nervous. So we are going to do a line. However, I am going to go in with my Smashbox Always On Liquid Eyeliner because I think a felt tip might be slightly less risky. So just so you guys know, I'm not even going to attempt a wing because I am crazy, not stupid. And I am just taking this to the end of my eye, kind of. It's really hard to do with my left hand. Ah. I normally will take it in my right and do it that way. I'll take it in my left and do it this way when I'm just doing the very end of my eye. So not being able to switch hands to finish off my eyeliner is really, really freaking irritating because I can't get the angle right. Okay, it's on. It's good. We're gonna leave it there. Maybe gaps, but we're gonna leave her how she is. All right, guys, so I need some good thoughts that my battery holds out because I've been filming for 40 minutes already and we're not even done with the eyeliner. Sorry if my head is not in the best position for you to see what I'm doing right now, but this is the only way I can manage to get this onto my eye. Yeah. Yeah. I think this eyeliner is drying out too. Like I'm having better control with felt tip, obviously, but I think it's drying out, which is sad because this eyeliner, well, no, this eyeliner actually is kind of old. I've used it a lot, so I'm just like, just get me through another video, please. Oh yeah, that's drying out bad. Yeah, okay. Well, actually taking off some of the eyeliner I've already put on. No. Okay, done. I'm leaving it there. That's as good as we're gonna get. We are done. That was scary. Okay. And I have like eyeliner all over the back of my right hand because I was trying to like smush it to get the liner to the end of the felt tip because when liners start to dry out, the tip where you're doing most of the work is what dries out first. All right, now I'm going to put on mascara, just my upper lashes. We're not playing with the lower lashes today. And I'm using my L'Oreal Unlimited Mascara. All right. Okay, this is actually pretty easy because when I apply mascara, I tend to let my lashes or my eye do most of the work. I tend to place one and blink through. So that wasn't too bad. Hey, okay, we have a little spot up there. Not too bad. Okay, this is gonna be, that's a good cam position, right? Sure. Okay, so doing my left eye, not so bad. My right eye, wow. Okay, that got real clumpy real quick. So we're just gonna thicken up the left side to match the right. All right, and last thing for my eyes, I'm wondering if this is a good idea. I am using the NYX Wonder Pencil in Light just to brighten up my lower waterline. Don't stab yourself in the eye. Don't stab yourself in the eye. I am pulling my eye more than I normally would, just to keep from stabbing myself with the point of this very, very pointy pencil. Next, we're going to move on to contour. I'm just doing a light contour today. I haven't been contouring a whole lot lately, but it didn't feel like a full face look without contouring, so okay, that's slightly unblended. Okay, this is actually way easier to do than like the eyes and stuff. I keep dropping stuff though. I'm so used to holding the products in my left hand and the brushes in my right that like I can't hold on to anything today. For blush, I am using the Tarte Amazonian Clay blush in the shade Party, just a light neutral blush. It's hard getting the right angles too. That's what's weird, is getting the right angles that your hands normally move at. And for highlight, I'm using my Smashbox Spotlight palette in Pearl. And I'm just going into the lightest shade. And I'm going to take that brush and pinch it to highlight down my nose and my Cupid's bow. And then I'm going into this next shade, which is a bit more sparkly, and just adding a tiny bit more sparkle to my cheekbones. So last thing to go are the lips. And today I am using this very, very teensy tiny pencil. This is the NYX Suede Lip Liner in the shade Soft Spoken. Before I started doing my makeup, I put on a lip balm, and I'm just going to line my lips with this, and that is all I am wearing today. Correction, I am going to attempt to line my lips with this today. I think this being a shorter pencil makes it slightly easier, but it's still actually really hard. Now, I actually picked this color out before I chose what eye look to do, and it's actually looking just a little bit cool toned. So I'm going to grab one more lip product real quick. All right, guys, so to top this, I'm actually grabbing my Wet n Wild Color Icon Gloss, and this is in the shade Featherless. All right, you guys, we are done, and this is the final look. It was really, really difficult, more difficult than I thought it would be doing my makeup with my left hand. And it actually took me in real time about 55 minutes to do this look with my left hand. Normally this look I could probably get done in about 35 to 40 with my right. So it didn't take quite as long as I thought it would, but it still took a really, really long time, and it was really difficult to do. So I actually thought it was kind of fun though, because watching myself like freaking struggle and try to do like eyeliner and blend stuff out was actually kind of funny. So if you haven't tried doing your makeup with your opposite hand yet, I would highly suggest trying it because it was fun, it was different, and I hope that you guys really, really enjoyed it. If you would like me to revisit like some older tags, or if you have anything you'd like to see me do, please let me know down in the comments below. I'm always looking for new things to do and try, and would love to know what you guys want to see. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't yet, please subscribe to my channel. You can also keep up with me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. I am pretty much everywhere, and all the links for those are down below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you again very, very soon. Bye.